Well, Ian, the last time we spoke to you, you were a very disappointed man, but after tonight's game, you seem a lot happier. You think you should have got all 3 points, though?
Yeah, I mean, I think if any team deserved it, it was us. In the nature of Ayer's goal, I know myself that Alan isn't a boy that dives, he isn't, but when you look at it, it's very, very soft. I mean, another 9 times referees wouldn't give that. So, in that respect, we're a bit gutted that our goalie never had a save to make, but Ross didn't either, to be honest. But we did have a couple. We felt we had a couple of decent chances, and for half an hour in the first half we dominated. I thought the second half was reasonably even, but that decision really, it was a hard one to take. But hey, it's a point, and we've got to use it as a starting position. We move on here, are where they are for a reason, and they've got 2 or 3 special players that can hurt you no matter how they're playing.
You've brought in some very good players as well. It's a much changed team from what we saw the last time we played.
Yeah, well, listen, our club's been fighting relegation for 2 years now, so changes had to be made. Whether they'll all gel in time, who knows? I hope we do, but certainly I think we look more solid tonight, and we were a threat. And I think the key, we need to get Zach Rudden fit. He hurt his thigh last week in the warm-up, so we feel if we can get him beside Brian Graham, there'll be a handful for most defences.
Brian Graham's given you a little bit extra up front. He seemed a difficult man to mark and also to get on the right side of.
Yeah, I mean, he did well. I mean, it's great. Stephen Bell, he's a great pro and a right good player. At his age, the way he's still doing it is all credit to him. So, but it was a good battle between him and the 2 centre backs. So, I mean, ultimately, a draw was probably a fair result. But we were just a bit disappointed in the nature of Ayer's equaliser.
You're fighting really hard at the bottom there just now, but there's a lot to be seen in that game there where you can see, and against Celtic as well, I've got to say, which I watched on television. There's a lot there that shows that you're going forward.
Listen, if we've just got to turn this club around. If we can get through this season, I'm confident we'll do that.
Well, Mark, quite a tousy game tonight, but fought back to get that equaliser and keep the points.
Obviously a point's great after the first half. I think first 10 we spoke about it on the board. We knew they were going to just turn us down the channels, try to get down the side of their centre halves, and we dealt with that first 5-10 minutes, and we get in between their defence and midfield. But gradually they started turning us even more, and it was balls into the 18-yard box, a wee bit untidy for us dealing with it, which we spoke about at half time. But I wasn't sure why that was happening. We were normally great at dealing with that, and even our second balls in the middle of the park. But when we turned around, I think we'd done that to them second half, and the wind was a massive factor. We were just putting balls into areas and they weren't dealing with them, so things did change pretty quickly from first half to second.
Now, you seem to have a couple of possible injuries there. Doherty went off and he didn't look too comfortable, and I noticed at the end Harvey was limping off the pitch.
I think we took a couple of knocks. I think Doc's ham's a bit tight. I was the same. I was feeling tight. That's why I came off, just to make a change. Obviously tactically we made a change when we came off as well, but I wasn't feeling great, and Doc's probably the same. But I think it might have been the pitch was pretty heavy tonight. The pitch was good, but it was quite heavy, and hopefully they'll just settle down.
Right, just to change tack slightly, this week you've brought in players and a couple have gone away. You've lost Doolan and McGuffey, them in particular, well-known players. What's the reasoning behind that?
Well, obviously Chris hadn't really contributed this year, and he wanted to get more time on the park just to ages it, and we had just honest discussions about that, and Dools was great. He's like, right, I appreciate the honesty, and we just kind of moved it on from there. Gus was slightly different. He chose to leave. He wanted to leave. It was for the first week I was in the job. He was frustrated from the previous manager, and he kind of forced the issue. His agent forced the issue, so there wasn't really a choice for me to make. It was, if you don't want to be here, then that's fine. I wouldn't stop a boy's career progressing. And again, that was done in a certain way, that the two left it happy, and we were still pals after. It was no animosity. It was just straight. He needed 8 games, and he's went to Morton now. So all the best to both of them. But it was when boys want to leave and they want game time, then we can't guarantee that. Then things have to go a certain way, and that's what's happened.
And another signing tonight.
Yeah, we've got Connor in from Middlesbrough. So the day was pretty tough mentally. I've been up this morning early on. Deal didn't get done till about 4 o'clock. So that's done. It's great. It's another body in. It was good to get Tiff on the part today, and Gills looked good when he came on as well. So we've got cover there now. I think 2 weeks ago, if Doc went down or myself went down, we were having to change to a different shape. Although we were saying it was a 4-3-3, we were having to put a kind of in the hole player, a number 10 in there. I know fans maybe look at that and say, oh, why do we change the formation? But we didn't have enough midfielders to actually have a proper 3 in there. We would have to drop Stevie deeper. So now we've got the players who don't need to do that. We can keep our shape, and we've got depth in the squad.
So looking at any others, there will be frees sort of coming available, people who haven't got clubs over the next week. Anything in these kind of players?
It just depends what comes up. I mean, people leave it to the last minute, so we could, boys that weren't available at 5 o'clock before the game today might be available at 10 o'clock in the night, just with organising releases from clubs and stuff like that. So these things come up, and some are good and they fit your club, some aren't so good, and you maybe just jump in there and get it done. But we've got targets, and if any of them have became free, then we maybe go back in. But right now we're happy. We've got 4 in the door and we've not lost anybody. I think that's a massive plus for the fans and us as a group. We've not lost Jordan, Stephen Kelly, Alan, all the ones that we had spoke about we might lose. We've managed to hold on to them, so that's a positive window for me.